So I've given up having expectations. All right, blue-white angels. We've tried the angel shell in a lot of different color combinations. So today, we've got blue-white angels here. Someone just brought up, is Honor Guard worth having in the main deck with Deputy of Detention? I guess that's awkward. I think this is part of the reason to play blue, though, so maybe I don't want this card in my deck. Are there any other good 2-drops I could put here? Other than a Vanguard? What's a defensive 2-drop I can put there? What's a defensive 2-drop I could play in that slot? You can play Knight of Grace. It's probably Knight of Grace, right? Knight of Grace combos with History of Benalia. That's probably better. I like that. First strike is good. Let's update that. Good catch. So, I've added some blue cards here to the core. Teferi and Dovin could potentially solve problems that this this angel shell kind of has, which is it can tend to run out of gas, which is not ideal. So these are cards that generate card advantage for us. So let's go ahead and dive into some matches, see how it feels. I'm not going to put the Tecatlis in the board because I think I like Deputy of Detention against decks where I would otherwise want Tecatli, and I think I'd rather just have Deputy of Detention. And how many rounds are they? They're usually somewhere between 7 and 9 rounds. I think they're usually 8. The 9 round cuts not till 224. I believe they're usually about 150 to 200 people, which is 8 rounds. Yeah, the blue-green Merfolk deck in the queue is Ralph Levy's from the Mythic Championship. Sand looks great. They haven't done a standard NRG tournament before, so I'm not really sure how many to expect for tomorrow. Most of the ones they've been doing are modern, and the moderns have been having like 200 or so. Which Angels deck do I think is best? Honestly, just not sure. I'm gonna go ahead and just play this. They want to trade Bronzodon for my History of Benalia. That seems like a win for me. Nerd Rage will be there with singles, Rulk. So if you check the Nerd Rage site, that should give you an idea of what they'll have available there. I'm not a big fan of Esper Control in general, just because I prefer decks that can actually win games of Magic before I die of old age. But if you like mopey control decks, Esper Control is fine. Yep, yeah, Matt is one of NRG's casters. Sounds good, Nivik. Thanks for the biddies. I'm just gonna Dovin plus. I'm gonna Dovin down tick, actually. Let's get a Thopter going here. I'm gonna attack with the first striker. Grapple, grapple. Thanks for the prime. Hope you're having a good one. Well, that feels bad, but it also means our Angel's likely to be in the clear, which is good. Double blocking there would be real wrong. My card has first strike. So double blocking there would be incredibly bad by my opponent's part. And don't get, so I actually had someone get very upset and lose their mind and they no longer have the ability to post comments on my YouTube channel because of it. Because I've said on this stream that I don't like Esper. For the record, Esper is very good, and it's one of the better decks in the standard format, but I personally do not like playing against Esper, or playing with Esper. I don't mind playing against it, playing with Esper, because I find it tedious to not be able to win the game like it cannot. Sleepy, thank you for the 2-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm gonna go ahead and exile their 3-4 here. We played a build of Esper with Kaya in the main the other day that felt fine, but fine is definitely how I would describe it. There's nothing to write home about.
Seek to innovate.
Deck Uno, thanks for the 4-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. This game's probably over. Do you have any idea? Do you think they'll use the idea for they did Modern Horizons, the same blueprint for injecting cards directly into Standard Plus? Yeah, very possibly. Mr. Snake, thank you for the very generous sub gifties. I hope you're having a good Friday. Good morning. This will be a 6-7 if they pump it. Yeah, we actually played the Jund Warriors deck yesterday. You can check it out there. Oh, they're attacking my face? Yeah, good catch. I just figured they were attacking Dovin. Mr. Snake, you should take a peek at the deck queue and let me know if there's a deck in there you'd like to see a little bit sooner. I always encourage the people that pay my bills to take a peekaboo and kind of dictate what we do and when we do it. Sub gifties, donation bits, all of that. Feel free to bump things. Yeah, so if you look in the lower left-hand corner, Burgle, you'll see my rank icon. So we are currently playing ranked because you'll see I'm ranked platinum there. I don't really want to speculate on what cards I personally would like to see into Modern with the new set, just because you're just like setting yourself up for disappointment. Just like wait and see and be happy. Be happy with what they give us. Tithe Taker's stat line doesn't seem very good in this matchup, so I'm going to go ahead and trim him. Seal Away and Sky Tether seem fine. I think I'm happy with the rest of these. They're gonna announce that they're abolishing the reserve list and printing real duels into Modern. Seems fine. Not amazing, but fine. I don't know exactly how big their deck is going is part of the problem. So, like, maybe Stroke is good, but maybe it isn't. Sarah seems a little bit slow and clunky for Modern, so I'm sure that means there's going to be a bunch of people who are going to love trying to play it. Baffling End is so good right now. I think this rule spell is super reasonable. Because even when they, like, have Thrashing Bronze on here, they just get a 3/3 back instead of their good creature. Xerd, thank you very much for the very generous tier 3 sub. I hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Thanks for keeping me around. Be sure to submit a deck through the form on my website, or just drop me a DM and let me know what you'd like to bump up if there's something already in there. I appreciate it. Rude. I think this trade is good for me. Towards Black White Aristocrats. Will do, Mr. Snake. Yeah, tech's really sweet. Lyra's probably gonna get shot down here, I'd assume. I say, what on God's green earth would that attack mean? Now, I'm gonna strap my tinfoil not safe for WotC hat on here for a moment and say that the reserve list exists because it gives them an easy out to not make non-rotating formats accessible. Wizards of the Coast wants older formats to be expensive because they want Standard to be the introductory format for people. If formats like Modern and Legacy cost the same to get into as Standard, less people would play Standard. And, like, don't get me wrong, the Standard format's great and I love it, but I think that's definitely true. Yeah, Sky Tether's interesting. I saw this card and some other things, and, like, the fact that, like, we have a bunch of flying threats in here makes this seem like really interesting, efficient removal. I mean, this paper Standard format is not that expensive. The fact that, like, mono blue and decks like Gates exist and, like, white aggro, like, a lot of these decks are very cheap. Moving on up. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Sure, but you don't have to play Sultai mid-range and control decks. Saying Standard's too expensive because Sultai's an expensive deck is like saying driving a car's too expensive because driving a Corvette is expensive. It's like, well, you don't need an expensive car to drive to work. It would be nice to have, and it would be fun, but it's not a requirement. Do I bottom this looking for a 2-drop? I think I'm gonna keep this. I don't know what they're playing. If they're playing an aggro deck, I'm gonna be a little sad. Against control, I'm happy to have lands 1 through 4, though. So, the problem is, with people talking about LGSs versus Arena, a very important statement that I would like to drive into your skulls is that correlation does not equate to causation. So, just because someone's sales are up or down around Arena doesn't mean Arena is necessarily to blame for that increase or for that decrease. Very, very, very important fact. Correlation does not equate to causation. It's something that people everywhere do very constantly, as they think, well, this thing happened in the same window as this thing happening, so they're related. There's so many factors that go into a lot of these things that it's too simplistic to write it off as this is this other thing's fault, guaranteed. Did you know the worst fires have the most fire trucks? So if we send less fire trucks, the fires won't be so bad. Oh, that's a good one.
No, we need to move quickly.
That's a pretty good one. I think I send the whole squad at Teferi here. Unless they just tap out. Alright. Well. Now there's only land. Ugh. Oh, that would have been so good to draw land there. Do I just play another history here and force them to have the Kaya's Wrath? Yeah, probably. Shoe size is correlated to IQ because small children have lower IQ. Yep. That's another good one. You think my opponent's enjoying their history lesson, chat? Really like to draw land here. There are 25 lands in our deck. Alright, this puts lethal in play and it leaves behind a friend if they draw Kaya's Wrath. We won an entire match with the Recolation deck. The first 40 minutes of the Recolation video are a very glorious match win. Because decks like that, when you win very slowly. Holy crap, are they jumpstarting Chemist's Insight? Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. This card's so good. Wow. Just Esper control things. Just Esper control things. Just Esper control things. Oh, Esper control. Oh, Esper. Oh, Esper. Do 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 do. Wow, we kind of have a respectable curve post board here, huh? Like, even not counting these as 2-drops, we got like 11 2s, a bunch of good 3s, like a couple 4s, a couple good 5s. We played Tithe Taker. One-third of my way to the sword. Is that the hilt or just the tip? It's the hilt. You wouldn't be able to hold the tip very efficiently. We don't want you to cut yourself on the tip. I think this is a mulligan. Not only is it missing blue mana, but we have a lot of good 2-drops. This hand is much better. Looking for a land. Oh, that's awkward. Oh, mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. That's, Yep. Bellhaunt? Huh. That's pretty good. Maybe I'm supposed to keep the Knight of Grace just because I have the history. Shalai's better against Teferi here. Waffle! Thank you for the 11 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, Bellhaunt into Teferi's a heck of a curve here. Not really sure I have good tools. Maybe I want more Deputy of Detentions.
Keep up the pace.
We played a version of Esper Angels yesterday that you can watch on YouTube if you want some thoughts on Esper. If you you want some thoughts on Esper. It's tough to play cards like Thought Erasure in an Esper build of this deck, just because curving Thought Erasure into History / Angel of Grace is tough. Heat Stroke. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. Welcome. Sorry about that. Oh, I missed Obi-Wan. No, I got Obi-Wan. I think I was lamenting my lands when you resubbed. Sorry. Alright, let's draw a third land to give him a history lesson here. Perfect. Right on time. 2-drop. Get negated. Wow, rude. Mr. Napper, thanks for the prime. Thanks for shipping your beta bucks here. TGIF, good morning. Those are absorb lands. I guess I'm going to play Resplendent Angel because I'd rather this get absorbed than History of Benalia. Now they have cast down. Yeah, kind of punished for my sequencing here. This is just like where Esper controls at its best, right? Like, all of their cards are lining up perfectly into what our cards are trying to do. And we missed a land drop, so we're just going to fall a little bit too far behind here, probably. We've not played LSV's Phoenix deck from the Mythic Championship, no. Alright, well that's not a Teferi at least, so we've got that going for us. She's dead, Jim. Standard rotation happens every October. Most decks that are trying to be interactive are better in best of 3 than best of 1. Are any decks where you side out Dovin? I don't think so in this build. Dovin's good against control and aggro, and it's like fine against mid-range. Card's pretty flexible. Now, I think they're going to want to let Azcanta rotate out. Azcanta is a pretty powerful effect that they probably don't want endlessly in Standard. If I had to venture a guess. Alright, they're flooding a little bit here. That's a good draw. Get Big Tef going. We'd like to draw a Negate or a Disdainful Stroke here, ideally. Perfect, Nivik. Yeah, that would be a fine list to play for that. Worth noting here, Teferi has hexproof for my Shalai as well. So if they have Vraska's Contempt, they have to kill Shalai first. Jay Shrimp, thanks for the 15 months. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
I'm not done yet.
I look forward to seeing your don't mind if I enjoy this.
Do I want a Deputy of Detention and risk them putting Bellhaunt back into play? I think I do. This makes Kaya's Wrath real awkward. Maybe this is bad because of Kaya's Wrath. Maybe I'm supposed to wait and try and find a counterspell. I'm probably supposed to wait and try and find a counterspell. They're just gonna Kaya's Wrath me and punish me. Alright, well, kind of happy that I shipped it. Unless they Wrath me here. Wrath could be a card that they're holding. Alright, we're probably solidly ahead now. Just because if all of these hit them, I get to ult the Dovin next turn. Avatar Roku, thank you for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Hey, to crack this Memorial to Genius here too. Like they're dead on board. The Teferi's close to alt. The Dovin's at alt. That felt really good. I get that they flooded a little bit, but like having access to Teferi seems like a big deal in matchups like that. Like the Angels deck runs out of steam is one of its biggest issues. And like having things like Teferi and Dovin to gas up is important. Teferi. Honestly, I could see a 4th Teferi being good in the sideboard, or maybe I want to go to 4 Dovins. Multiple Dovins usually isn't that bad. Hey, Agger, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub, and thanks for the 12 months at that. I knight thee, Defender of the Realm, go forth and protect us from Twitch chat. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this on the draw. Deputy of Detention is like okay against aggro. Sweet. Looks like we're playing against Sultai most likely. Could be a teamer variation, but if they're Sultai, I want to see how this matchup plays out. Does Mythic Decay? I haven't heard one way or another confirming if Mythic Decays or not. Azumael, thanks for the prime. Good morning and happy Friday. That one. Hostage Taker. Woof. This is one of the biggest problems with straight blue-white is you just don't have good removal for this matchup. Like, the fact that you can just, like, you're just constantly hosed by Hostage Taker is, like, a big deal.
I will gladly point out I benefit from another's success.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee that that drop, Fohawk, is a drop because of decay and not because of people jumping you. So, like, just because you went down doesn't mean there's decay. Kind of falls back to that correlation versus causation thing we were talking about a hot second ago. Yeah, I don't know, Burgle. I kind of feel like it's a dumpster fire regardless of what you do.
To be repeated.
Like this matchup is bad for every variation of Angels I've played. I've even played variations of Angels that have like Tecatli in the main and you still just get dumpstered here. So I almost feel like you're supposed to punt the matchup and play to everything else. Alright, well. Get Teferi plus Baffling End here.
Let's skip to the good part.
Shalai is not a terrible draw because it does, it'll let me play the other Deputy out and protect it. But I guess at the same time, it's not great because they do have this Fine Finality hiding in their hand. Any other green-white land is a good choice for Horizon Canopy, depending on what deck you're playing it in. Maybe Teferi could pull us through here, like... I feel like maybe Tecatli plus Teferi is good enough to make this matchup okay. Plus Disdainful Stroke. Like, is it worth giving up Deputy post board, or maybe just like playing through the awkwardness? Sure.
Keep up the pace.
I think I just Shalai here. I think I Shalai to force the finality. I feel like this forces the finality, and then Resplendent Angel plus my Teferi might be able to take over afterwards. So they finality here, keep Wild Growth Walker or Hostage Taker, but they can't kill my Teferi this turn with it. We might actually be okay here. If they have another fine finality, we're in trouble. Do they get to pick these Crisis back up? They have another fine finality. Yikes. That's such a tilt. We're good. We're good here unless they have this thing. Yikes.
Hold that thought.
Analyzed and found wanting.
Yeah, maybe with Disdainful Stroke on the back of Teferi, we could be okay here post board. So I'm gonna tuck this in. I'm gonna plus Dovin. I'm gonna activate this. I'm gonna hit them for 6 in the air and make a thing. Sub points fluctuate because people don't auto-renew their subs, and there's sub gifts that obviously don't extend. Yep. Oh, interesting. Huh.
How this thing goes is up to you, pal. Feel the wrath of Scala.
Challenge accepted.
No time for a break.
So how do we feel about play second Teferi, tuck the Hostage Taker, plus Dovin, send these two at Vivian, send this at them, so Dovin goes to 7, and then I can play History of Benalia for a blocker. I think I like that.
Sorry I'm late. Not so fast.
My inventions bring joy to me and others.
So this guaranteed dies. They're gonna go ahead and eat my knight here. It's actually been a really good game of Magic. Teferi's a good card, believe it or not, and he's kept us in this game in spite of them having a lot of things.
Not dead yet.
So they need double removal to pressure our Planeswalker here. And even if they have something like Finality here, the Tithe Taker leaves a token behind to protect Dovin from ulting next turn. So there's the Krasis we took. So their next two cards are Krasis Hostage Takers. They've got some good ones coming up. But, like, if they don't interact with the Resplendent Angel, that one's going to start generating tokens, too. Like, even this giant Krasis here, I'm going to get to... I think we're kind of okay. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You've killed my 2/2. So, like, this is pretty likely to find a Baffling End to exile this Krasis. I'm going to plus Teferi first because I don't get to make a decision with this, and the card I draw from here could impact my decision with Dovin.
The array is complete and ready for inspection.
That's a Deputy of Detention. And a Baffling End, and another Deputy of Detention. So I think I'm doing this. I'm just taking 2 Baffling Ends here. And probably a History of Benalia, honestly. No, I'm going to take a Deputy so I can tag their Hostage Taker. Alright, so I'm going to do this. Exile this. And then I'm going to activate this and just smack them. We're not gonna outgrind Sultai, but we might tempo them. We might be able to tempo them. Hey, Super, thanks for the tier 3 resub. I really appreciate that for the 7 months in a row. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. So, like, they're at 7 here, and, like, history's popping off next turn. I'm actually really impressed with this deck right now. The blue cards are giving us a lot of play. That's a little brutal. I think that works out okay for us. I don't know if we're going to be able to play through this other Crisis they have in their hand, though.
Let's skip to the good part.
We Deputy Angel, it comes back to our side. I don't think so. Exile target and other opponent controls until this leaves the battlefield. Man, if we had mana to activate Shalai right now, we'd actually be in a pretty good spot, huh? We do kind of need to Fade Finality again, which is going to be tough because they've drawn a lot of cards. They very likely play 3 of them. I mean, they're at 14, and I've got a lot of power in play here. So this is obviously exiling the Hydroid Crisis. And I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 power in play.
We need to move quickly.
That's a Resplendent Angel. I can actually play this Angel out. And then Teferi lands will untap, and I can protect it from Finality. I probably want to leave these back to protect Teferi. This attack is free because it is first strike. I agree. So a sweet game of Magic regardless of what happens. So if I shock this in, I can play the Knight out too and still protect this from Finality. Which I think means I want to play this out just so I'm wide enough. Yeah, Teferi was really good here. It allowed us a level of grind that, like, Black White Angels just never has access to. The Deputy of Detentions have been very reasonable, too. Alright, well, you can shoot Shalai.
I've lost so much already. I won't lose more. Draw and fire.
Quiet, Burgle. Quiet. I'm trying to teach over here. Alright, well, that shoot down implies they don't have finality, right? I think I'm just supposed to plus this.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I'm not done yet. Yeah, how many Vivs are they? I think this is their first Vivian, though. No, it's their second Vivian.
I will gladly point out your inadequacies.
If I Dovin full smash here, I do get to alt my Dovin next turn. I'm just gonna make a token and play Lyra, I think.
You're doing me a favor.
Meet my newest friend.
Oh, Hostage Taker. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to be aggressive and kill the Vivian last turn. Yeah, I can tell Lyra to go tuck herself.
Occasion. I'm not often wrong.
Or not. Yeah, I think we're finally done. Yeah. That was close. I don't have a lot of good tools on my board here. I have some Disdainful Strokes. Do I want Negates in this matchup? Sky Tether's actually kind of funny, yeah. I think I don't like Tithe Taker. Doesn't have a very relevant text box. I think I want a couple of Negates. You still lose a lot even with Tecatli. Just like as someone who's played the matchup a lot, you still just get dumpstered with Tecatli. Is History of Benalia worth playing? Yeah, Tecatli's only like good if you're like killing them, like the white weenie deck. As someone who's played a lot of Angels variations, this matchup's bad even when you have Tecatli. Yes. Not having a good way to deal with Hostage Taker is a really big deal. I wonder if the full green splash, not only for people have been talking about what's it called for activating Shalai, but playing Tristani out of the sideboard doesn't seem like it would be unreasonable. I think if you think we can aggro this matchup, I would say you're very wrong and we should just concede. If you think we have to win by being aggressive, we should just concede because you're never going to win by being aggressive. Ever. It's just not how the matchup works. You cannot aggro down the Sultai deck with a deck like this. These mid-range aggressive decks can't do that without a card like Adonis Climb. You need some kind of big getcha card, which we just don't have access to in our colors. Drajani is also good against Thief, I agree with that. You beat Sultai by going way over the top of it or by going underneath it, and these other mid-range decks just don't do that. You meet them, you're trying to meet them in the middle, and this is not the place you can meet them. It's not a good spot to be. By playing a deck like this, regardless of which iteration of Angel it is, you're kind of just conceding this matchup. I'm playing it out this time here with this iteration because we haven't played the blue splash version before, because I wanted to see if it was different, and like Teferi almost made it feel like it could be different, but it's definitely feeling just like the status quo. Esper control, sweepers, thank you, I guess. Sweepers and card draw. Other crisis decks. Oh, I should have attacked first. What else is good? The treasure map, Theater of Horror decks with like Dragon, Hellkite, and Siege Gang Commander. Those decks can kind of grind through Sultai, the red mid-range decks. Mono Blue is an example of going under Sultai. Putting Hostage Taker under Deputy is a little bit loose because now they can just like kill my thing at any point, but it's just like the only plan I've got. It's like they can just like kill this, exile this, take 3 here. Then I guess I just play another Deputy out, so it's like not the end of the world. People that are suggesting card choices in our deck, I'd encourage you to please read the stream rules. If you're wondering why you got timed out, please read the stream rules. Please read maybe the card rec command. One of the things I try not to do here on stream is constantly just shoot down people who post why not questions. That's something people do. Why not this? Why not this? Why not this? There are infinite why not suggestions you can have for every single deck you play. Did they miss the land for finality and die here? That would be great. Yep, yep. Oh. Oh, just a Hydroid Crisis. Oh. Oh, just a Hydroid Crisis. So you're dead. So you're dead. Resplendent Angel is so good. That wasn't either. That was my opponent getting unlucky and stumbling, or possibly being mis-sideboarded and boarding in a Negate against our deck, full of creatures. That was getting magicked. This card's really good at taking over games. Maybe they get magic twice in a row. That'd be great. It's definitely one way to win. I mean, 3 colors, strictly speaking. I think that's something people, again, people incorrectly identify mana-based things a lot of the time. Adding a 3rd color does not make it harder to cast History of Benalia. Adding a 3rd color in this format makes your mana just more painful and more tapped lands. So all adding a 3rd color to this deck does is, imagine you take all the basics in this deck and replace them with green-white duels and blue-green duels. So like, saying that it makes cards like this harder to cast just isn't true, because you'll have the same number of white sources in your deck. Alright, we're losing Teferi, but we're going to have Disdainful Stroke up, so it looks like we'll win this because they got screwed. Magic's great.
Hurry!
Hurry! They were dead regardless, but it is funny.
No time for a break.
I wonder if we just want more Disdainful Strokes in the sideboard. Because the high impact cards in this matchup are definitely things that are more expensive. So if we can like protect ourselves from those high impact plays, we might be okay. Like, being able to stroke Hostage Taker is a big deal. I think Black-White's still my favorite. It's definitely, all the Angels builds are bad against Sultai, just so you know what you're getting into. Again, you can win matches where you get a little bit fortunate, like this one. I don't think I want Tecatli. I'm gonna go to a 3rd stroke. Teferi makes it really easy to like make plays and hold up counters, which is nice too. You start at platinum. When you're mythic, you drop 2 ranks when the season resets. Sure. His hand is not amazing against Esper control. It is fine against Esper midrange, though. Arguably good against Esper midrange. Yeah, the season reset yesterday afternoon. Sweet. I get to just stick history next turn. Get to curve out into our Teferi here. Should there just be 4 Teferis in this deck? What deck would you play in Cascade Constructed? Mono red aggro. Kind of surprised they played the Deputy out so aggressively. As opposed to, like, waiting for my other history token to come in and grabbing those. Interesting. Deal. Why not Deputy the Deputy? Because I don't want their Deputy under my Deputy. Because I don't want them to be able to kill my thing and get their thing back.
We need to move quickly.
I look forward to seeing your example of my genius.
Keep up the pace.
Keep up the pace. Deputy plus Shalai is pretty sweet. I wonder if this deck, I wonder if I want some Warrant Wardens in this deck. That card could be okay. It's good with Teferi. 2 mana instant speed removal is good with Teferi, right? Because you like untap your lands and then you have it up. It's another flying threat. Yeah, I feel like we're sliding into garbage time here.
You're doing me a favor.
Ha! They can't consume me because I have Shalai in play. That is excellent. A plus,
Hold that
excellent.
thought.
So Tithe Taker makes it so they can't warden me this turn. Deputy of Detention cleans out these Thopters so I can kill Dovin.
These results are an anomaly not to be repeated.
Shalai is definitely very good in unison with Deputy of Detention. Definitely a powerful combination of cards. Do I click submit? I almost feel like I'm supposed to click submit here. I don't feel like any of our sideboard cards are exceptionally relevant. I click submit. Whatever happened to Esper Amulet? It got replaced by more efficient, better Nexus of Fate decks. Nexus of Fate is no longer a meme this season. It's tier 1 obnoxious. Terramander. That's an interesting card to have in their deck. That implies they're a more spell-based version of Esper Hero. I think Knight of Grace is pretty reasonable in a matchup like this. Was there a build of Esper Hero that did well at the PT, the Mythic Championship with Terramander? It's good for us. I get to go ahead and just like Deputy of Detention, exile this, kill Dovin. Like a good exchange on our part.
Results are an anomaly, not to be repeated.
That's what you said last time we attacked you to death, Dovin. Might want to get that looked at. Might want to get that looked at. So they can fart this next turn. I think I'm gonna Baffling End this turn, so that way next turn I can play Teferi on a mostly empty board rather than worry about him being pressured. More than 0.
I'm not done yet.
There's no accounting for life. Maybe yours will hardens me. Surprises even me.
Based on the results of existing Magic tournaments, Sultai Midrange is one of the best decks in this format. I think I just double history here for lots of blockers. And then next turn I go Shalai into Deputy their tokens. Their hero tokens.
Doing me a favor.
old for this.
Huh. Scary Terry's not nothing here.
Hurry!
So do I Shalai? I think I'm just supposed to Deputy kill the Thopters here now. Next turn, my histories are going to pop off and we'll get to smash in. Send these over here. If they trade with this, I'll have a 1/1 to chump block for Teferi next turn. It's also possible I should have down-ticked Teferi on the Terramander this turn. So, Sultai is very good. It's just the Sultai mirror matches are kind of miserable. So I agree. I would never play Sultai at a tournament because I don't enjoy the mirror. Wow, that's brutal. Woof.
This tech gimmick is worth it.
Huh?
Stop that. Now!
Alright, so I just tell Ethereal Absolution to go tuck itself? I think so.
You need to take a time out.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack with everything. Actually, I'm gonna send these over here. This Teferi card's kind of good, chat. There might be something to this one.
For me to slip up is rare.
It's kind of unfortunate that we've drawn this many lands and haven't seen a memorial yet.
Wanting.
I didn't Dovin uptick because I wasn't expecting many of my creatures to connect to my opponent. And as we saw, only one connected. And I wanted to be able to down tick to make an extra blocker so I could have a bad blocker to chump block the Terramander. We don't have to play around subtle. We have Shalai in play. Deputy Detention.
No time for a break.
Rats. Alright, well this is going to be a Dovin plus.
Not just a gadget, but ingenuity.
So they get to eat my Angel here. But then they have to choose between Teferi and Dovin on the backswing. I think getting Dovin to the maximum loyalty here is important. That's pretty brutal, because it gives them an extra blocker here, too. No, it just goes back to their hand, because they've taken an illegal game action. You can't take illegal game actions. These Terramanders are very good here. So they're down to 8. Dovin's going to 7. They need to pressure Dovin and Teferi, probably. If the top card of their deck's a blank here, we might be able to win this under this Ethereal Absolution, just because of how many attackers we have. But if they hit a multicolored spell on top of their deck, we're probably going to be dead here. Especially if it's like a piece of removal. No, that's not how the rules work. Listen, this isn't Trump's Twitter account. Don't just go around spreading misinformation. The internet's got enough bullshit on it. Oh, they have Memorial to Glory to make blockers with.
These contraptions have their...
If everyone who wasn't sure about the things that they were saying would simply just not open their mouths, the world would be a much better place. White Sticks, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Thanks for keeping me around. Great. Just conceding. Got it. I guess they're just dead there, right? Because they could go block, block, and they take 6, 7, 8. How do I pick decks to play if they're not in my queue? I don't. Pretty much all the decks we play here are in the deck queue. I think I'm happy with the build. I don't know, I kind of want a 4th Teferi just because the card's real messed up, believe it or not. I'm going to put the alt art Teferi in the sideboard so we know when we draw him. Hey, White Sticks, thanks for the 2 months. Details on how to submit a deck to the queue can be found on my website here. Let's play one more with this. This one's feeling pretty good. We'll move on to Bantiro and then Black White Aristocrats. Got a whole nice long day today. Gonna be running long. Pretty awesome. We're up to 2,000 people already, and it's been barely 11 a.m. Thanks for being here, folks. Hope you're having a good start to your weekend wherever you're at. If you're searching for a good Angels core and you didn't watch the 4-color Skies deck we played the other day, you should definitely go back and watch that. Yeah, both the Aristocrat builds we have today look pretty sweet. We have, Tithe Taker's a great hit. We have we have the black-white build that I really liked last time. It's on my website that we're going to be playing again. And then the Mardu build looks pretty reasonable as well. You sent in Bant Teferi a few days ago and haven't heard back. I sent messages about last night. Did I not? I might not have sent them out last night. I have 226 looks like the last time I responded. So I haven't responded. The ones that I haven't responded to are listed as 228, and then today. So my whole day yesterday was just messed up, so I didn't respond to submissions yesterday. They binned to Kaya's Wrath, so either they were digging for land, or that's a real bad sign for us. They have the Wrath and we're waiting for the other one. That makes sense. So I get to go ahead and do this plus Knight of Grace here, which means that I have another Must Answer Threat in play. We're a little bit behind right now, but not if they have mostly reactive cards in their hand like draw spells and counter spells. The Resplendent Angel can take this game over.
Hold that thought.
I'm not playing around a removal spell here because I just don't think we can beat that, so... This is going at Teferi, these are going at you. Wow, they might just have a bunch of reactive stuff here. Worth noting that my opponent can't flip Azcanta yet, so that's good for us. So they need a Kaya's Wrath here or they're dead. Yep. Sure. Great, and then next turn I have Deputy of Detention. Oh, is that lethal? That's lethal, right? Because I have 8. This is a 9th point on this. Just Esper Control doing Esper Control things, chat. Esper Control gonna Esper Control. Man, what do I trim here? Is it just Deputy of Detention? I think it's Deputy of Detention. I think it's Deputy, right? The rest of these cards seem great. Is this too many strokes? Do I only want 2 strokes here? Nah, I probably want all the strokes. They counter Kaya's Wrath and stuff. I like the Deputy randomly exiles like Thief of Sanity and stuff like that if they bring it in. I'm gonna try all the counter spells here. I'm not sure if that's right or not. Stroke me, baby. This hand is excellent. Sprawn, thanks for the half a year. Hope you're having a good Friday wherever you're at. Welcome, welcome. That was an amazing draw. This card is so good in this matchup. Means they can't absorb me. Yeah. Yeah, cry me a river. Sweet. Lets me stick History of Benalia here. This is a great card to get in. Would really like to draw a 2-drop, so I can go 2-drop plus hold Negate. I think I just hold the door here. Like, just attack and then pass. Because if they untap and Teferi, I'm really not a fan of that. I'm really not a fan of Boros Angels. The deck that I would want to compare this most to is Black-White Angels. And honestly, I kind of feel like I like what this build is doing a lot. Although I kind of wonder if I want to just, like, splash for Seraph. But at the same time, everything else feels kind of reasonable. I'm not sure I have things I want to cut. I didn't really think at a glance that this build was going to be good, but I'm kind of really impressed with what it's doing.
We need to move quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, having good creatures that, like, they have to answer while you work up the curve to Teferi means he's more likely to resolve this matchup.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I'm gonna make them have Kaya's Wrath here. Even if they have Kaya's Wrath, I, like, still have Teferi and I have Memorial to Genius. And, like, Teferi's getting pretty close to ultimating here. There's a Teferi of their own, but that can't tuck my Teferi. So your Teferi can go tuck himself. And, like, my Resplendent Angel has hexproof for my Shalai here. So my Resplendent Angel's going to hit their Teferi. Actually, they're just dead, right? If I tuck their Hostage Taker, make my Angel a 5/5, correct them for 13, even if they kill my Shalai. Huh. Huh. I kind of really like this build. Part of me wants to try a splash for better removal for Hostage Taker, but another part of me thinks maybe we should just try in Disdainful Stroke in that matchup. We're going to be done with this build for today, but I'm pretty happy with where this ended up at. I think the 3 strokes, the extra Teferi on the board seem reasonable. Like, the main deck tools that we have are, like, pretty good against aggro. Deputy of Detention with Shalai is just, like, chef's kiss. Very, very good. The one thing I'm not 100% sure on are these splits of, like, Sky Tethers and Sealaways as extra cards in the sideboard. But I like the core of what's going on here. Teferi and Dovin, so one of the big issues that the Angel Shells consistently have for me is that they don't have any card advantage. They're just a card quality deck that's trying to out 1-for-1 the opponents, and they tend to get buried in some of the matchups in the format where that's not good enough. And having both Teferi and Dovin as sources of card advantage in the deck felt very, very reasonable. So if you're looking for a neat take on Angels, I think this is definitely worth giving a try too. Also, if you like to like put your wallet on the table and say like, hey, check out my Mythic Rares. Do you like my Mythic Rares? This is definitely a hey, check out my Mythic Rares deck. Which is, you know, that's always fun on occasion. All right. And another good one coming